Go ahead, sir.
Stephen, don't you think these animals you've killed want to live as much as you or I do? In fact, isn't this just a rationalization for murdering innocent creatures? To shoot innocent animals, animals that have beating hearts, that run from you simply because they want to live. They're not armed with copper bullets or lead bullets.
I think you're not really asking a question, you're making a point, but I'm going to answer like a question. I would say that if you look at the grand spectrum of species on this planet, you treat humans like a species, we're one. You'll not find many that don't prey on other kinds. People say generally, behaviorally and anatomically modern humans have been around for maybe 75,000 years. On this continent alone, people hunted for 15,000 years, notwithstanding the last couple hundred years. So to not hunt is in some way historically off the mark. To not hunt is a fairly new experiment in a human sense. To ask a wolf not to hunt anymore is an impossible question, So if someone comes to me and says that they don't want human hunting, we don't want to hunt, I kind of am like, coming from what perspective?
That life is sacred.
Yeah, I know that life is sacred, but I think that what I admire is not, I admire the deer, but I admire the idea of deer more than the individual deer. And I can assure you that I know more about deer than you ever will. And I've learned that through hunting for them. And I probably care about them in a way that's deeper than something you're going to experience from having a removed perspective on it. But beyond that, I can't really say that much because like all predatory animals with canine teeth, we eat meat. And if you're going to eat it, if you're going to agree that some people can eat it and do eat it, I don't think you can fairly point out a hunter and say that he's the vicious one because he chose to go out and harvest it himself, and that the other people who just have other perspective on it or let it go on outside of their view are A-okay. I think it's ridiculous. But like I said, I don't think you're really asking the question. I understand what you're saying, and
No, I wanted your answer. I want to thank you. And if you'll read my pamphlet on veganism, I'll read your book.
Really? How long is your pamphlet?
Take you much less time than the book.
That's a deal, man. I'll read it tonight, I promise. Honestly, I respect where you're coming from because I have always had admiration for the cohesiveness and clarity of veganism. It doesn't strike me as being unusual. It doesn't strike me as being anything. It's like a perspective. And I would rather have you over for dinner than someone who is feeding their pet, little chunks of meat they buy at a store and then acting like I'm some kind of vicious animal for killing a deer. So.
Thank you.